When it comes to writing chart-topping hits, few artists can rival the consistency and success of Toronto's own Drake. Regardless of whether if you're a fan or not, there's no denying that the man knows how to create infectious tunes that dominate the airwaves. In this comprehensive video, we'll dissect the writing secrets behind Drake's music and show you how, if you're an artist, you can apply them to your own tracks, or if you're just a fan of Champagne Papi, you can better listen to your favorite artist Drake with fresh ears as we describe 8 Drake songwriting secrets nobody tells you about. Drake's songwriting secret number 1, the chorus first approach. Drake has mastered the art of hooking listeners from the get-go with a chorus-first mentality, likely stemming from the seismic shift in song structure in the early 2000s that occurred roughly around the time that artists like 50 Cent and Kanye West began to utilize classic song formatting such as double-sided choruses and bridges. Drake very often makes sure to begin the entire track with an epic, memorable chorus before ever even dropping a bar. Many of his smash hits, such as Hotline Bling, In My Feelings, and Started From the Bottom, kick off with a catchy chorus right before a brief instrumental intro. This pattern also extends to his notable feature tracks like Look Alive, Walk It Talk It, and Life Is Good. By starting with a strong chorus, Drake immediately grabs his audience's attention and lays the groundwork for a memorable song. Drake understands the power of catchy melodies and strategically shortens his verses to arrive at the chorus more quickly. In songs like Controller and One Dance, he opts for 4-bar verses followed by an 8-bar chorus, and thus the key is finding the perfect balance between lyrical content and memorable hooks to appeal to various listener preferences, described in Drake's songwriting secret number 2, shorter verses, longer hooks. The OVO Kingpin has a deep understanding of the power of catchy melodies, and he's never afraid to flex the skill of making the catchiest part the majority of the song's runtime. One strategic move he often employs is shortening his verses to arrive at the chorus more quickly. After all, what's better than getting straight to the good stuff? As we said, in songs like Control and One Dance, if you listen closely, Drizzy opts for a tight, focused structure, 4-bar verses followed by an 8-bar chorus. This approach keeps listeners engaged, making them want to hit that repeat button over and over again. This is because Drake's ability to create infectious melodies is no accident. He knows what his fans want and delivers it in spades. By intentionally crafting shorter verses and leaning into those irresistible choruses, he ensures that his music stays on heavy rotation. Now, if you yourself are indeed an artist watching this and would like to master the art of rap songwriting using step-by-step lessons from the music of Drake and other heavy hitters such as J. Cole, Kendrick Lamar, and more, click the first link in the video description to pick up our 4-hour masterclass, Hit Records Hot Beats, which comes as a free bonus when you click on that page. Now, Drake's songwriting secret number 3 is samples as riffs. Now, the mastermind behind some of the catchiest tunes in recent memory has another secret weapon up his sleeve: his uncanny ability to select samples that stick in your head just as much as his own lyrics. There's no denying that Drizzy often has an ear for the perfect sample, and he uses it to add another dimension to his already infectious tracks. Take a moment to reminisce about some of Drake's biggest hits. In My Feelings, Nice for What, Non-Stop, One Dance. What do they all have in common? They all feature prominent vocal samples that serve as additional hooks throughout the song. These samples, similar to a riff in rock music, add an additional layer of catchiness that makes the tracks impossible to forget. The way Drake flips these samples is a master move. He weaves them into the fabric of his songs, transforming them into essential elements of the listening experience. With each spin, these samples burrow deeper in your brain, making sure you'll be humming along for days. Drake's sample game is a testament to his keen ear for the perfect sound to complement his own lyrics and melodies. It's a gift that sets him apart from the pack and one that he wields with finesse. The result, a distinct and memorable listening experience that has fans eagerly anticipating each new release, wondering what magical sample the Sixth God will bless us with next. Drake's songwriting secret number 4 begin with the bridge. Songs like God's Plan and Tootsie Slide showcase his unique skill in flipping the script and starting with the bridge, that magical transition section between the verse and the chorus. By front-loading the track with these catchy segments, Drizzy ensures that the audience audiences hooked from the very beginning. A great bridge is a delicate balance, less complex than the verse, but more intricate than the chorus. It's the perfect segue that keeps listeners engaged, and Drake has mastered the art of the bridge like no other. By incorporating this technique, he elevates his songwriting to new heights, proving once again that he's a force to be reckoned with in the music game. Think about it, when you press play on a Drake track, you're instantly drawn in by the power of a hypnotic bridge a lot of the time. It's a clever way to captivate you as an audience member, ensuring that you're already singing along before the verse or even the chorus even hits. It's no wonder his songs dominate the charts and command heavy rotation on playlists everywhere. Drake's unorthodox approach to song structure has undeniably contributed to his success. By placing the bridge at the forefront, he hooks listeners from the get-go in a way that many other artists aren't, making his music all the more irresistible. Drake's songwriting secret number 5, turning ad-libs into musical beds. Throughout his career, Drake has had a knack for integrating skits and ad-libs into his music, particularly after the mid-2010s. The Toronto-born rapper doesn't just use these vocal breaks as filler or transitional pieces, he weaves them into the very fabric of his songs. Take his album Scorpion, for example, which brought us bangers like In My Feelings, Nonstop, and Nice for What. Each track not only stands out for just its catchy hooks, but also for the scratched ad-libs and mini skits in between the tracks that give them unique flavor. And when it comes to More Life, the album's heavy use of skits featuring UK drill rappers like Giggs and Skepta transformed the listening experience into something more akin to a lit night at a London club rather than just another Drake project. Drake's songwriting secret number 6, making what you want to hear. Now, when it comes to writing melodies, Drake doesn't just stick to a rigid set of rules, but rather leans into emotion as the driving force behind his hooks. Champagne isn't afraid to embrace sweet melodies, as he said in many interviews, as long as there's a real sentiment backing them. He says he steers clear of classic pop major chords and progressions, favoring the heart-tugging power of minor chords instead. Drake's approach to songwriting is all about connecting with the listeners on an emotional level rather than getting too cerebral or in your head. The goal is to create music that resonates deeply, whether it's sugary sweet or not. And when it comes to melding styles or taking risks, Drake's philosophy is simple. Make what you want to listen to. Drake believes that if you're feeling the gravitational pull towards a certain sound or style, chances are someone else will too. So don't shy away from your creative instincts, even if you catch some flack for it. After all, if Drake can make a career out of pushing boundaries and defying expectations, so can you. Drake's songwriting secret number 7, choosing instrumentals that sound like your hometown. In a city synonymous with chilly temperatures and towering steel skyscrapers, it's no surprise that Drake and his trusted collaborator OVO 40 have masterfully conjured the quintessential Drake-type beat by channeling the essence of Toronto itself. Drake has even said in interviews that their production choices and overall tone were specifically designed to feel and sound like his own town. That iconic tone that has become synonymous with the Sixth God transcends mere melody, enveloping listeners in a sonic landscape reminiscent of crispy city nights and the icy embrace of the Canadian metropolis. Drake's music is not just about the lyrics or the flow, but also about an immersive experience of being transported into the heart of Toronto. This artistic vision is further amplified through the visual aesthetics of his music videos, as seen in Chicago Freestyle, which spotlights a frosty Toronto skyline, or War, where Drake and his crew take to the slopes, defying the biting cold in luxurious and toasty attire. So part of the reason the Drake-type beat has become a cultural phenomenon that not only exemplifies the artist's unique sound, but also is one that many try to emulate, is because it embodies the spirit of the city that this legendary artist calls home. As his music continues to evolve, so too will the sonic representation of Toronto, cementing Drake's legacy as the city's musical ambassador to the world. And Drake's songwriting secret number 8, recording before thinking. From penning players' anthems like Keep the Family Close to creating crowd pleasers, tailoring his female fan base such as God's Plan and Best I Ever Had, Drake has proven time and again that he can resonate with listeners both through lyrics and melodies like few others. But what's the secret sauce behind some of his most iconic hits? Surprisingly, it's not overthinking it and trusting his instincts. Drake's uncanny ability to connect with audiences worldwide is often fueled by an organic, uncalculated approach to songwriting. When telling the story of the creation of God's Plan, for example, Drake says, "God's Plan was a song that I recorded on a whim in my condo and thought nothing of it. I only had the first verse and the the hook, and it leaked. People forced my hand because they were like, yo, this joint sounds hard. We had to rush and turn it around because I was worried that another artist was gonna get the version and just start laying like random verses on it. I never could have told you a week before that God's Plan was my single and it was gonna be the biggest song of my career. A lot of this is organic, it's not that calculated. Despite not initially recognizing God's Plan as the future single that would become the biggest song of his career, Drake embraced the unexpected opportunity and let the music work its magic. The track went on to dominate charts globally. This isn't the only time Drake has followed his intuitions and let a naturally occurring chorus lead him to acclaim. The lesson here, sometimes the best approach to songwriting is trust your gut, avoid overthinking, and let the creative process unfold. After all, it's a strategy that certainly worked for the boy. Now, I want to see you in the comments. Do you prefer a more calculated or organic approach to songwriting when you're doing your raps or as a fan? And how do you think it affects the final product? Of course, if you're an artist watching this, be sure to visit the video description. I've been your host, Drew Marcy, the big homie Drew for How to Rap. I'm out.